All right. Okay. Taking her a minute to join. There we go. Hi, Allie. She's connecting. Hey. Allie, if you can hear me, put your audio on and so we know it's working.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, excellent. Okay, great.
Oh, good.
We'll go ahead and start the meeting. So welcome. This is the November 19th, 2025 meeting of the Conservation Commission of Wellington. We'll call the meeting to order at 7:03. Please bear with me. I have to take minutes because Laura's not here tonight unless somebody else wants to take minutes. For roll call, we have Bob Shabbat, Nora Jones, Tessa Gutowski, and Allie LeMay, as well as Kathy Demers. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from October 15?
So moved.
A second? I think the only other person besides himself be Nora. Nora, you want to second it?
I will second.
Okay, because I think we were the only three here tonight that were here last time. Okay. So,
There's three of you.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Abstentions? Be Tess and Allie because you weren't here. Or you weren't seated last meeting anyways. Yeah. Okay, so you would be abstained. Okay. Nobody's here present to speak tonight. Treasurer's report. Well, we don't have a treasurer yet, so if anybody is interested in volunteering to take that on for the commission, that would be wonderful. I can certainly give you a little bit of training in that. Carol was our treasurer for 25 years, so we can talk about it a little more under membership. Balance right now would be $1,339.73 after paying $100.27 for the library basket donation that Heather put together. In terms of ARPA funding, we've expended $1,996.84 of the $3,500 that we were originally provided. We have a balance now of $1,503.16, and that has to be spent by March of next year, the end of March. I think we talked about pre-buying lumber and perhaps storing it over at Public Works until we need it for boardwalk and bridge projects. We need to reimburse Heather Alexson $80 for the registration fee. She went to the pollinator conference at UConn. Can I hear a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, thanks, Tess. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor or any more?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay. And then I attended the Kakiewicz conference last weekend. The registration fee was $85. I'd like to request that the commission reimburse me for that. Can I hear a motion on that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, Nora, thanks. Any discussion?
Can you say that backwards?
No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain. Okay, so moved. And then the last one was to reimburse me for $23.27 for refreshments I purchased for the Fenton Ruby Park workday on November 2nd.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I'm gonna abstain. Thank you. Okay. Under old business, Fenton Ruby Park. We had a wonderful work day on the 2nd. We had, let's see, 4 commissioners plus a commissioner to be, Tess came. And we had 12 volunteers come out, which was probably the most people I've seen in a long time for a work day. So that's really great. We got a boardwalk accomplished on Julia's Trail and some trimming around Julia's. There's been no other reports from the stewards as far as needs or maintenance on the trails there. Pettick's property, we went out with a small group on 11/14. Tessa and Patty joined us, and we had Bill Bland and his wife Kathy and John Morley, and we cleaned up the trail system so we could get to the Pettick Sanctuary. And also we cleaned up around the Pettick Sanctuary itself, where there was a lot of old branches and things that Public Works had left behind after they had done their brush hogging in there. So it looks really nice for our walk on Saturday. So thank you to everybody, all the volunteers that came out for those 2 events. Let's see. The hike on Saturday is going to be from 10 to 12. We're co-sponsoring that with Parks and Rec. Do you know, and I think some of you told me you were going to come out to the walk, but I just wanted to double check. I know Tess is coming. Anybody else? Allie, are you coming?
I'm not in the state on Saturday, actually.
Oh, no worries.
Yep.
Do you know if your mom's coming?
I don't know.
Okay, no worries on that. Okay, well, I know that Rachel Signer from Parks and Rec is coming out as well. So there'll be at least 3 of us, which will be great. You know, it's always nice to have extra leaders and somebody following up the pack. I don't know how many people will come out, but we did quite a bit of advertising on our website. Park and Rec has put it on their website, Facebook page. It's posted around town. It's in the kiosk at the park. So any other questions or thoughts about the hike for Saturday? I don't plan to buy any refreshments for that. You know, I think it'll be just the hike, and then, you know, people will come and go afterwards. They want to hang around at the park, they can, but as far as signage at the Pettix, regarding the Pettick Sanctuary, the bronze plaque was placed on the rock. I did send a picture around to everyone. It looks really nice. We still have to work on updating the map, the park map, so it shows the sanctuary parcel added on, as well as updating the website with some verbiage about the, you know, maybe a little bit of background about when it was purchased, and the intent of the past owners in terms of donating it, or excuse me, not donating it, but selling it to the town. So I'll work on the verbiage, and I know that Heather said she would try to work on the mapping, so we'll check in with her when she's back. As far as the Knowlton Preserve, trails are clear according to our steward. And the Talmadge Conservation Track, Bill and Kathy Bland, who are stewards on the Talmadge Spur Trail, told me that they would like some materials to replace a boardwalk and some wire mesh that's on the boardwalk on the trail. So I was going to see if the commission would vote to approve using some ARPA funds to purchase those materials.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sized boardwalk that crosses that real mushy area where the small brook runs through.
Right, yeah.
But isn't that built on an aluminum ladder, Kathy?
Oh, I don't think it's that one, Bob. It's the ones that precede it. The
Oh,
ones that are
okay.
more,
Okay.
they're more down on the ground. They're not over the water.
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah,
Yep.
and some of those are deteriorating, and Bill and Kathy had some wire mesh that they put on some of the other boards, and it's really nice because that area stays a little bit wet or damp because it's close to the stream. And those boards have gotten slick in the past. So they put that wire mesh over it and it works really nicely.
Good.
Yeah. So if I can have a motion to use ARPA funds to replace some boards and wire mesh on the Talmadge Spur Trail.
So
Kathy,
moved.
I have a question.
Yeah,
For the ARPA funds, that's the same amount of money that you talk about in the treasury report, or is that separate funding?
yes, no, it's the same one test. So it would
Okay.
be, yeah, we would take, we would pay for the materials. We have an account with Willards in Willimantic.
Yep.
That money actually has already been encumbered. So we have, the balance is with them that we can use for materials.
Okay.
So,
And you would use lumber and the mesh?
yes.
Okay.
Bill's gonna send me a materials list and Chris and I usually go down and pick it up with the truck. And then we can, I'll talk to Bill and see how much help they think they need to do that. And if they need some help, we'll put out a call to volunteers.
Okay.
Hey Kathy?
Yeah.
That wire mesh, didn't we use chicken wire on that?
Yeah, I think that's what, I'm kind of speaking of is wire mesh. That's just chicken wire.
Yeah, let me check down at the Historical Society. I think there's 3 rolls of, I don't know, 24-inch chicken wire. Let me check there before you buy that wire.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Do you know Bill Bland? He and his wife live on
I
Eldridge.
maybe know him to see him, but the name doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, all right. Yeah, let me know soon and then I'll let Bill know.
I'll
And
probably be down the tavern tomorrow, so I got some carpentry work to do, so I'll go out in the garage and look upstairs.
okay. Well, as far as a motion, I think all we have to do is that that we would approve expending ARPA funds for materials related to that boardwalk. Does anybody
Okay.
want to make a motion?
Make a motion to. I don't remember. Sorry, I'm brain dead. To use
Just-
funds
To spend ARPA money.
to buy the products for the boardwalk at the Talmadge Trail.
Okay, all right, and
Fine.
use ARPA funds.
ARPA funds.
Excellent. Okay, second?
I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so moved. Okay, collaborative organizational news and communication. Wellington Public Library. We donated the raffle basket. Tonight I did send around a picture that Heather had sent of the basket she put together. We purchased books for children online from Amazon, as well as a few other things that are more, kind of kid level, like some binoculars and little microscopes and things that kids can take out in the field with them. I think, Bob, you and Christine donated something for the basket too?
Yeah, Christine had a pair of wool mittens, and we stopped and saw Heather today, and she says, "Oh, the basket's already done." So she says, "Well, maybe you can go to the library and just slip them in." So I don't know if Christine, she's standing here saying, "Oh no," but are you going to slip those?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Yeah, she's gonna try to slip those mittens into that basket sometime in the next few days.
Okay, or, the whole point of it is to help raise money for the library too. So if she can't do it, maybe hi Christine, maybe you can just give them to somebody at the library and they can put them out on one of the vendor tables or something and they can get
Yeah.
sold.
I'll
Yeah.
see what I can do.
Yeah.
I'll probably go over tomorrow, so
Excellent.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You can see, Tess, we have a kind of a loose meeting. Very collaborative. Park and Rec Department, the only update I have is there's a new assistant, Jesse Pasacreta. And Jesse will be working on the newsletter, the Wellington Wire. Natchog Healthy Watershed Advisory Board update. We have a work group right now that's working on stormwater management and LID training for members of planning and zoning and inland wetlands. We're going to be working with Clear and Nemo to come up with some type of a training program that we can give to the land use offices. Some of the ideas are around doing a pre-recorded session from Nemo and Clear, and then the land use boards could show that to members when they have, a light agenda. And then Clear and Nemo would also do a live program on another night somewhere in the future so that members who would like to participate could sign on to a Zoom meeting and ask questions. So that's one of the activities that the advisory board is working on. We're looking at ways to help continue to have a healthy watershed. 300th anniversary in 2027. Bob, any updates on scenic road issue?
No, actually, I've dropped the ball on that. Shame on me.
Well, I know you and Heather said that you would try to talk to Public Works Director, right?
Yeah, and what we got sidelined with they're having problems with the old town hall and getting the window project finished in a reasonable way.
Yep.
And we've been talking about that more than anything past couple weeks. But yeah, I'll try to get back online and see what I can find out about the scenic roads. And yeah, I want to talk to Troy because I know there are some ramifications for maintenance things of culverts and such. So I want to touch base with him.
Okay.
And I have a question. So have you identified a potential list of roads that you considered scenic?
We have not. We had talked about Moose Meadow as one that we might want to target, but we
Yeah.
haven't come up with a list. Tessa, do you have some thoughts on that?
No, the reason why I ask is I raised that scenic road from Moose Meadow years ago, 20 years ago. And one of the things that came up with the selectmen was what would be the constraints on the town? So that's a big question they're going to have right from the get-go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the big constraints are. I didn't know about those culverts and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's certain things that I forget who looked into scenic roads probably 10 years ago or 8 years ago. And there were some issues about what you can and can't do with culverts. And some of the culverts on Moose Meadow need to be replaced because they're so old. And
when I was talking to the selectmen, it was I think it was brought on because remember the stone walls up and down Moose Meadow?
yeah,
And they took them out. They took them away when they brought in the road.
well, the stone walls are still there next to the old part.
Oh, yeah, but there was a lot of wall that they took down.
Yeah, in order to straighten the road.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think there's anything that, you're gonna get into those catch-22 things. I mean,
Yeah, and I think that might be a constraint that they're worried about.
yeah, although during the election, someone had come in and asked the registrars what the deal was. Could they sell their stone walls? And evidently, I checked around, and you can if you want to
Yeah,
sell your
you
stone
can, yeah.
walls, you can. So
It'd be the roads would be interesting for the 300th anniversary to figure out which roads were in place. And well, you know that already. So that would be my target.
Well, Moose Meadow Road was an Indian path.
Yep,
So, and the road follows that old quote unquote Indian path. I'm sure it was closer to the road sometimes, but, and you know, why do you think Moose Meadow is called Moose Meadow?
yep,
So it's, you know, there's a lot of history
Yep.
along that road with
And
the
it's beautiful.
mills and things. So, you know, I'll try to check in with Troy in the next, you know, after Thanksgiving, when
Mhm,
everybody kind of gets back on track here, and see what his thoughts are, because I know that he's aware of some of the ramifications with the scenic road ordinances. So
Yep.
we just need to get on the right side of that with the road crew.
yep.
I would ask that if you're gonna pursue this, Bob, that you also find out what the criteria is to qualify for a scenic road. I mean, who allows this designation? Is this by state statute?
I looked into it a long time ago. I kind of forgot, but I think there is state regulations
Okay,
that mandate or guidelines, I should say, what justifies a scenic road. I know Mansfield has one or two. You travel through the state, and they're pretty common to see.
yeah.
Uh,
But I think before we even approach, even Public Works or Board of Selectmen down the road, I think it's really important that we get the background on it.
sure.
First of all, like, who do you apply to?
Yep.
What's the criteria for applying? And if you are designated as a scenic road, as you say, what limitations are there in terms of doing any kind of changes to the road? There's a
Yeah.
whole wave right now with culvert mapping and culvert changes because of MS4. It's municipal stormwater strategic something or other, but it's coming down so that towns are going to have to do mapping of all their culverts to make sure we understand like what needs replacing, what's not sized appropriately, what's starting to cave in. Are these culverts allowing fish passage? Are they too high the way that they're up in the air? Not that the town is to be pressured to have to change out any culverts, but the state is going to require reporting to the COGS about the conditions of all of their culverts. Some of this is because funding for replacing culverts and bridges will be based on this data. So the culverts that are most in need of replacing, or they're in areas where flooding would be a major hazard, will get higher priority for funding. So I'm just throwing that out about the culverts because I think the state is starting to recognize that towns are going to have to upgrade their culvert systems to prevent flooding,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I just quickly looking here, and a minimum length for a scenic road is 1 mile.
Okay,
And it appears, and this is just the surface search here. Seems like Connecticut is the one that designates the scenic road. And the criteria are historic building, agricultural land, mature forests, and it's free of intense commercial development.
okay.
So,
When you say the state designates it, like, who do we apply to? Is it the state historic?
well, that I didn't dig into that. This is
Okay.
just the results of a quick search of what's the criteria for it.
Okay,
So I'll do a little bit deeper dive and see what else comes up.
okay,
Uh,
that'd be great.
I have a contact with Preservation Connecticut. I can always reach out to that organization and get some feedback there.
Okay, because I just think it's important that when we we start to talk to the Public Works Director or the selectmen, that we have all the information that we can about it, so that we're not saying, you know, in the past, we've heard this or we've heard that. I'd like us to present it as something that we've done a little bit of background on, if that's possible. You know, my suggestion, so,
Okay.
okay, great, thank you. Anything else about the 300th anniversary that you wanted to share?
Yeah, the committee and some of its members, which that member is me, thought it would be interesting to redesign the town seal. And instead of having something like, well, it says seal at the bottom, wouldn't it be nice if it said 1727? Insofar as some reference to how long we've been here, as opposed to saying seal. And everybody looks at it and, oh yeah, that is a seal. So, you know, that I've talked to a couple graphic designers. I came up with an idea of some of the major products in town that are still recognized. Town historian says, well, how about a dam and a water wheel? One of the graphic designers just looked at me, rolled my eyes, and he says, oh, like about 3/4 of the other towns in Connecticut. So, you know, we're at a starting point. And I had talked to Peter while he was selectman, and he was on board with it. And maybe we can get something that's a little bit expands the overview of Willington in that seal, as opposed to a thread spool that needs to be blurred because some people get offended about what it says on the end.
Okay, I'll have to take a closer look at that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I'll say.
Oh, okay. Well, if anybody else has some thoughts or ideas about how the Conservation Commission can participate in the anniversary celebration, you know, keep that in mind and we can
Yeah.
talk about it.
Well, one of my other ideas was something about the Fenton River, and just for tricentennial fun, if you want to take and Google how Fenton River got its name,
Hmm.
it's quite a story.
Oh.
It's quite a story. And when we were last time we were at Williamsburg, I had found out about the history of the Fenton River. So I went down and it had a lot of maps displayed. Late 1700 maps. It's the east branch of the Willimantic River and the west branch of the Willimantic River. You get into 1820s, and all of a sudden it's Fenton's River and the Willimantic River. And then you move a little bit further into the 30s or 40s, 18, and it becomes Fenton River, not Fenton's River. So basically, they gave him possession of that river, and it's an intriguing story. And make sure you read all the way through it and ask some more questions if you hit a site that doesn't have the whole story of Mr. Fenton. The Fentons lived on the southern side of Willington, near the river, right on the Willington-Mansfield line. But it's an interesting thing how the east branch of the Willimantic River became Fenton's River, and I think for a good cause.
Okay, thanks.
So I have a question for the commission members. So are we gonna try and celebrate maybe through hikes all next year?
Well, it's 2027.
Oh, 2027, I mean, yeah,
2027.
2027.
Yeah.
So maybe we should think maybe something maybe like every month or 2 months, we can sponsor a hike in each one of the properties. It'd be fun to see if we could complete all the hikes in each of our properties.
That's a good
And that
thought.
would be just something for people to, maybe we can have some kind of like contest, not contest, but hike all whatever properties and maybe we can give them a hiking stick or something with something celebrating.
Yeah, that's a great
Mm.
idea. Is it something that you would be willing to kind of
Yeah.
lead on?
Yep.
it? Okay,
Yep.
that'd be wonderful. Okay, thank you. One suggestion I would make is unless you're personally willing to do it every month, it might be a little challenging
Yep.
to get enough of us to do that. But certainly that would be something at least to try to do I think we have 7 trails. We've got 4 at Fenton Ruby, and then we have 3 the Knowlton Spur, the Talmadge Spur, and the Split Rock Trail down on Mason. So
Mhm.
officially we have 4 trails. I mean, 7 trails.
Yep.
So, okay,
Yeah. So I think that'd be kind of fun.
Hmm.
that'd be great. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to add? Okay. Connecticut Land Conservation Council membership. I added this on because we usually every year send in a membership fee. And earlier in the year, Carol had said there was some difficulty in trying to get to download the form from CLCC, but I was able to do that. And I wanted to see if we want to continue our membership. We usually give at $100 level. Connecticut Land Conservation Council is one of the major nonprofits in the state that advocates for open space protection. They do a lot of work with the land trusts. They hold different conferences. They work with landowners, give them information about open space options. So it's a very good organization. It does a lot of lobbying at the state level for open space funding, which we have gotten, the town has received through the state. So if we want to consider continuing to be members,
How long we been members, Kathy?
I would say at least 8 years, Tess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the organization?
No, I'm not. No.
It's really, targets mostly land trusts, but conservation commissions can also be members because it's, supporting open space in the
Opportunities. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I would think that would be a good idea if we continued our membership, Kathy.
Okay, do you want to make a motion, Bob?
Sure. I move that we continue our membership in, what is that? The,
Connecticut Land Conservation Council.
I won't try to say that backwards either. Yeah, for the upcoming year of 2026.
Okay. All right, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Tess. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? So moved. Okay. And then CACIWC, or the Connecticut Association of Conservation and Inland Wetlands Commission. The conference that I attended was very good. This year, there was a lot of information and sessions related to riparian buffer protection. And there's currently a legislative committee that's working on trying to come up with a minimum buffer width that they can recommend that towns adopt in their inland wetlands regulations or in their planning and zoning regulations to try to bring home the attention to how important buffers are to clean water. There's a lot of science out there now that says even having a buffer width of like 25 feet can improve water quality by 60 to 70%. So there was a lot of discussion at that meeting about this. And there's some legislators from the environmental committee that have a subcommittee right now looking into this. I don't know next session if it will pass once they come up with some things, but they're still collecting information, data. Obviously, when it goes before, when it goes to full session in the environmental committee, then the public will be able to comment on it. So just wanted to let you know that's kind of on the burner. Support for farmland preservation. Last meeting, we decided to move forward with asking the Board of Selectmen to consider some ordinances to help with tax exemptions for buildings, farm buildings, and also farm equipment. And I'm just waiting for the new Board of Selectmen to kind of settle in before I send them our letter with the recommendations about the ordinances. So,
Kathy, you were going to look into seeing what the impacts could be for, for less tax revenue. Have you guys been able to do that?
I haven't talked to the tax assessor yet about that. Thank you for reminding me. I'm just writing this down. We had originally talked to her. She gave us all the information about people that would qualify probably earlier I would say around January last year or the beginning of this year. And so we had this list of people that would qualify based on people that were already getting an exemption for building equipment that was just automatic from the state. You had to apply for it, but there was a level that every town had to allow. The ordinances we're requesting are to increase the amount that's allowed because state statute now allows towns to do that. They can go above the minimum that the state requires be tax exempt. And it was a handful of people. How this will impact revenues, we can probably make an educated guess, but we're not going to know for sure because people actually have to apply for it every year.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I know those, like you're saying, these are questions that are going to be raised by Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, public, once we bring this forward, because it'll have to be a town meeting to adopt the ordinances.
Yeah.
So thank you. I'll try to talk to the tax assessor about that. Town development. Let's see. I don't think I have anything new to report. Bob, do you have anything on planning and zoning you want to offer?
Yeah, I've been thinking about what I talked with you about the other day. So I just give everybody that's at the meeting here a heads up that there will be a public hearing in the next month or so concerning zoning of the 16-acre parcel across the street from Love's. And the proposal is going to be for a 3-bay semi truck wash. Saw already some interesting things online. Few insights. They came to the Planning and Zoning Commission a number of months ago with some preliminary things. This is going to be a high-tech wash system. The water is going to be reused. Once the water is contaminated enough so it cannot be used as wash water, it's going to be hauled off-site and taken to a facility for treatment. Because it's high-tech, there's going to be a lot of equipment in those bays that can be taxed. And since the past couple of years, people have been thinking about where's the town going with the development. especially as it affects town taxes. I'm not asking anybody to make a judgment. The commission will have our say when this comes up, and I'm sure it's going to have something to do about the wetlands that are on the property, and a site walk to understand where the siting is, and et cetera, et cetera. I just want to bring this to the forefront so everybody can start thinking about it. If you want to drive up and look at the parcel, more power to you.
So it's, Bob, may I interrupt? So it's right across from 320 as you cross the highway, straight across?
Not on 320. It's right across the street from Love's on Polster Road.
It's the farm, right? It's that farm?
It's part of the farm.
Yep,
Part of it was sold for Love's,
yep,
and this is the remaining open field across
Right.
the street.
across the street.
Yes,
Yep,
yeah. So, you know, they came in, they gave us a quick rundown. We asked a few questions. They had started looking into the technology that they were talking about, and they gave us answers to a lot of our questions, but not to all of our questions. One of the biggest concerns I think that our board had, and again, this is still to come up. This hasn't come before us until our meeting's going to be on the 2nd. They're supposed to come and have our first interaction with them about this, and hopefully they'll have a lot more information for us this time around. The first time was just a general conversation, if you would. So that's what's, you know, on the horizon.
they're separate from Love's?
Separate from.
It's an
separate-
independent
This
developer?
is completely independent.
Okay,
And one of the things we were wanting to ask was, do they have a contract with common carriers? Because one of the things when you start developing, you want to take, at least our planning and zoning board is interested in, we want you to stay in business for a while. And although there seems to be a good amount of truck traffic, you know, between TA and Love's, if they had a contract with one or two common carriers, that might be what would be needed to sustain the business. I don't know. I don't know how often truckers get their rigs washed. I'm sure there's a multitude of reasons why they wash the rigs in the wintertime, you know, undercarriage, visibility, you know, I don't know. I don't know how fanatical these truckers are about how clean their rigs are. But that's one of the things that's on the horizon for us here in Willington. So food for thought. There's some comments already online, you know, be that as it may. I don't do social media like that, so I don't have the faintest idea what's out there, what they're talking about, although people tell me what they're talking about. So I just take it for secondhand information.
Okay.
But, you know, just a heads up for everybody.
So this is for rezoning, so it's residential
It's,
now and they want to
be-
zone it commercial?
I believe it's residential, even though it's farmland. It might be open space. They might have it registered under open space. I'm not really sure, Kathy.
Okay, but as far as zoning right now, it's zoned residential. They want to rezone it to commercial for this particular use.
Commercial or industrial.
Okay, and then they would have to come back if planning and zoning approve their request to rezone it, then they'd have to come back again with the actual plan at another time.
Well,
right?
and that's when you have your public hearing.
Okay, is there there should be a public hearing though for zoning change?
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. what's been going on. We've had our meetings postponed, and one of them was because we're getting several new members on planning and zoning. And Mike, our land use agent, didn't want to start the process with the old board and then have them come back so we could bring all the new board up to snuff on what was going on. So we just canceled our meeting this week. So we'll be
Okay.
meeting, I believe it's the 2nd of next month.
Okay,
And this is when this ask, I believe, for the zoning change will come up.
okay. All right, thanks on that. That's good to know. The only other thing I wanted to mention is at the Kakiwik conference, I learned that there's a new state statute that's going to require that all inland wetland commissioners receive the 8 hour of training through DEEP. It used to be that only one of the commissioners or the land use agent had to take the training once every term or 4 years. But now it's going to be required of all of the commission members on inland wetlands. And I know planning and zoning is supposed to have training of 4 hours once every term or
Right.
4 years. And at least an hour of that, Bob, has to be in affordable housing.
Yeah, I don't know, it keeps changing. What Mike is talking about is he's looking in to see if he can do some in-house training for us. Spend half an hour every one of our meetings and talk about one of these pertinent things that we need to be aware of.
Yeah,
So that we're looking into that, but otherwise there's the full day course that's offered, and then there's a number of 1, 2, and 4 hour options that are offered online.
yeah, okay. That was one of the reasons I think, and again, I don't want to go too much into detail, but it's very interesting to me. A lot of the training is targeting, how to run a meeting, the legal aspects of running a meeting to make sure that, you're doing everything correctly. But there's not necessarily a lot of information specifically to like low impact development or green infrastructure, things like that. And that was one of the reasons that the NatChog Advisory Board is trying to come up with some training working with CLEAR and NEMO. Those are the two Yukon programs that address non-point pollution and stormwater management. So, I'm hoping this will be helpful, for regional commissioners as well.
Is that going to be online, Kathy? Is it going to be
Yeah, again, we haven't nailed, all the specifics down with NEMO and CLEAR. We're having another meeting with them, but they were suggesting maybe they could pre-record some of it. And there's a lot of information already on their websites. But this might be tailored a little bit more to some of our rural towns. So. Open space opportunities. We don't have any new opportunities that I'm aware of. Anybody hear of any parcels on the market or landowners that are wondering about selling or donating land? Okay. One of the things I'd like to ask is that we purchased the 2020 Public Act 490 guide from the Connecticut Farm Bureau. And this guide was developed to describe the tax relief program that's allowed in the state of Connecticut for landowners that want to try to preserve their forests, farms, and other open space. It doesn't put a permanent protection on it, but it gives them tax relief. And as long as they keep it as farm or forest, they're allowed to pay at a lower rate than market rate value for their taxes. And this guide from Connecticut Farm Bureau is probably about 50 pages long, and it explains the whole program and how you have to qualify and so on. And I thought it would be helpful for us to have a copy of it because you used to be able to read this online. And when I went online, it's not available anymore. You have to purchase it. So I would like to make a motion that we expend $15.50 to purchase this guide from Connecticut Farm Bureau.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, and do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A second.
Thanks, thanks, Bob. Okay. Any more discussion? All in, oh, go ahead, yeah.
So this guide is, well, the Conservation Commission will have it, so when we talk to people, we can use this document to really explain to the homeowner or to the landowner why.
Right,
So it's gonna be our document that we would use to talk to landowners.
right. We
Mhm.
might even want to consider having a copy put in the library
Yep,
that people can take out, and then they can be the loaners and make sure it comes back.
that's a
Um,
good idea.
You know, maybe we want to buy 2 copies. They're not terribly expensive. We keep one with our files, and then we ask the library to put one in their reference section, and we can refer people to it if they want to take it out and read more about it.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so then we'd have to revise our motion to say expend $31. No, actually, excuse me, it's $12 for the guide, so 24, and then $3.50 for shipping, so it'd be $27.50. So we would revise our motion to $27.50 to purchase the guide, 2 guides.
I'll revise my motion to purchase the 2 guides.
Okay. Bob, do you want to continue second?
Oh, very well.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, abstained? So moved. Okay, great. Okay, Willington Wire, supposed to be coming out soon. Laura had submitted our last article, and I'd like to volunteer to write the next article that's due March 1st for the April, May, and June edition. I'd like to write something in there about the Natchog watershed, since we're one of the towns and we're on the advisory board as a representative. So I'd like to write something about it. We're also going to be having an event in May 2nd, which is going to be at the Wyndham Waterworks. And we're going to encourage environmental organizations to come and table there. The Wyndham Waterworks is going to put on several tours where people can go through and see the facility, because that's the end point where the water in our watershed drains to the Willimantic Reservoir, and that's drinking water for parts of Wyndham and Mansfield. So they're going to do a tour of the facility, and we're going to invite people to table so that the public can come out and learn more about the watershed and how they can take part in protecting it.
Kathy, when is that gonna happen?
That's going to be May 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say anything about Earth Day for April?
No, I didn't have that on here. Do you want to add that to the agenda?
No, I mean for the wire.
Oh, for the wire. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. Would anybody be willing to maybe write up like a little blurb about
Earth Day?
Earth Day? Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Okay. Thank you. And I'll write the watershed stuff and we'll put it in all together. So we'd have to have that due test by March 1st.
Yep, and when do they need the narrative?
That's when if you want to give it to me before then, that's
Oh,
when I
okay.
have to submit it to them by March 1st. So,
Okay,
so they can publish it the end of March for April, May, and June.
got it.
Okay, let's see. Communications or commission's web pages. Heather's working on updating those. I wanted to let Tess and Ally know that your names still are not on the website as commission members, but I've given that information to Heather and she said she would update it when she has a chance. Okay. Open space and, nope, excuse me, I'm skipping around here. You have communications next, right?
No, I have
Mm.
open space.
Okay. open space and natural resource mapping, right? Okay. Professor Bob Fahey indicated that one of his students, he's a UConn professor from the School of Natural Resources. And he told me that one of his students is looking for a project where he can help with updating natural resource maps. So he's offered the student to our commission next spring.
Excellent.
So good timing because we've been talking about updating those maps for the plan of conservation and development that's going to be due in 2028. So membership, let's see here. I just wanted to let you know that Marilyn has officially resigned. She sent a letter to the town clerk. And I'd like to just publicly thank her for her very many years of service on the commission and to wish her the best in the future. And we have some reappointments coming up on the commission. Nora as a regular member, Laura Rodriguez as a regular member, and Patty Phillips as an alternate. Their terms all end on 12/1. So I'd like to suggest that we send a letter to the Board of Selectmen asking them to reappoint them in their current positions for another 3-year term.
Have they all agreed to it, Kathy?
Yep. Unless Nora's changed her mind. Go ahead, Nora, your audio's off.
I know. I would like to change to be a alternate, just because I'm not there. I'm not present in town
Okay.
till after June. So if there's somebody that would want to be a full-time
Mhm.
member on the board, that would be better for me.
Okay, well, we have Maryland's slot opened up. So now there's a regular, and I was gonna suggest, we talk to Ally and see if she wants to move up into Maryland's spot as a regular. Which would
You're not letting me go, are you, Kathy?
Well, I mean, it doesn't, honestly, Patty, at this point, I mean, Nora, it doesn't really matter if you're a regular or alternate. You don't have to feel like you have to come. I know that it's a little more challenging, but if you want to move into an alternate, we can do that. You have to resign
Okay,
as a regular. You have to send a letter to the town clerk and resign before we can request that you're appointed as an alternate. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I'm told.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And that's through, I forget her name,
Nicole.
Nicole, okay.
If you go on the town clerk's website, on the left-hand side, there's a list of options. And
Okay.
one of them is a sample letter to resign from a commission.
Okay,
It's very simple. And if you want to just, print that out and sign
All
it,
right.
send it. So that's,
Kathy,
yeah,
I have a question. So if the term ends on December 1st,
yeah.
why does she have to resign? The term ends.
Well, we'd have to let the selectman know that she wants to do that. For some reason, they just seem to reappoint people automatically.
That's why I asked if everybody wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know why that happens. There's been times where they reappoint people and we haven't even sent a letter yet, so.
right. It
But,
just seems to me that if you fulfill your duties as a commissioner as of 12/1, seems to me like on 12/2, Nora can come in and say, I want to be an alternate.
Yeah, I would agree.
She can do that, if you can send your letter, Nora,
Okay,
if you can send it before December 1st, I think is the next selectman meeting. As long as you've resigned, then they can reappoint you, they can appoint you as an alternate. And I can put that I can explain it in the
Okay.
letter. So you want to be an alternate. Okay. And then we need to reappoint Laura as a regular and Patty as an alternate. So we need a motion for all 3 of those.
I make a motion to appoint Patty. I'm drawing a blank. Bob, take over.
Oh, to recommend she's reappointed
Reappointed as an alternate.
Patty, Laura, and
and well, you can't do yourself.
Okay, I can't do myself.
Yeah, so
No.
I'll put you down for those two. Okay. All right, and who wants?
Reappoint Patty and Laura,
Okay,
please.
and second?
I'll
Second.
second that. Oh, sorry.
No,
Okay,
that's okay.
I'll give one to Tess and one to Bob. Okay, and then we would like to appoint Nora because she'll have quit.
Don't
Appoint-
make me feel guilty.
No, it's so crazy the way we have to do this. It's like you should be able to just go back and forth, but that you're going to resign and we'd like you to be appointed as an alternate. So who would like to make that motion?
Yeah, exactly
Butchering
what
it.
you said, Kathy. I'll move that we appoint Nora as a alternate for the next 3 years.
Okay, great. And then a second? Who'd like to second that?
I'll second that.
Maybe Sam would like to second that.
Yummy would like to, my dog would like to second that.
Okay, any more discussion on that? Well, because we'll move on to Ally in a minute. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
I,
Any opposition? Abstained? Okay, Nora, you abstained probably on your appointment. All right,
Thank
I'm
you.
just, because you can't really vote on your own appointment, so. Okay, and then coming back to Ally, are you interested in becoming a regular member?
Unfortunately, not at this point. I'd like to learn more about what you guys do and get a better understanding before I become a full-fledged member. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me know, Ally, if you change your mind, because we'll
I will-
have,
I'll definitely keep it in mind.
okay, very good. Let's see, I just have to make sure that we don't have too many alternates right now. We've got Patty's an alternate. I'm trying to remember here. Let me double check something. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just check something. Okay, Nora, we might have a problem with you becoming an alternate. We don't have an alternate position for you. I guess I should have asked Ally first, because Patty and Heather and Ally are all alternates. We don't have an alternate slot yet, so we might have to leave you as a regular.
All right, I will stay on.
Okay. All
I
right.
just feel badly that I can't be present and so.
Well,
I will continue to think about it as well. And as I learn more and feel more comfortable, I will keep you all updated on my stance.
okay, thanks, Ally.
Mhm.
Okay.
and we'll be thinking of you, Nora, in your digs on the island.
Come visit, Bob.
Oh,
We need somebody to do the 250th,
300th.
250.
Oh, on the island?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Geez,
No.
that's funny. I would have thought it would have been older than the town, but.
well, for next year, 2026,
Okay,
Oh, okay.
but American Revolution, American birthday.
Oh,
America's
okay.
birthday.
Yeah. I don't want to burn myself out I want to save myself for the 300th here.
That's true.
so Nora, thank you. You're willing to stay on? I mean, because you always can just, if you wanted to resign, that's up to you. I don't want to hold you to it, but we'd like you to stay on, or
All right.
I'd like you to stay on.
I'll stay on. I'll stay
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Just
We understand that you can't be here for every meeting, definitely, so understood. Okay, and then officers. we still have a vice chair position open and a treasurer position open. Is anyone interested in taking on those responsibilities? Vice chair would just be someone who could run the meeting, if I'm not able to, which is usually I can't remember the last time I wasn't available because we do this by Zoom. So even if I'm away in Vermont in the summer, I usually run the meeting, so. So vice chair, another thing that the vice chair might do is if we have to speak in front of one of the other commissions, with some recommendations and I'm not available, the vice chair could take that on. The treasurer would be responsible for keeping track of our budget, submitting invoices and things like that to the finance office. Working on our annual budget request to the town. So those are responsibilities that the treasurer would have for the commission.
Kathy, real quick question, for the, do we need to nominate Nora for full-time? Do we have to make a motion to appoint Nora or the recommendation? Have we done that?
Oh, thank you, thank you. So you're right. So going back, we would need to vote to reappoint Nora as a regular member.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you for procedural correction there, thank you.
The other thing I was gonna ask you, for the other commission members, does anybody have any business background to do the treasury stuff?
No.
I don't. Does anybody else?
no.
I mean, I can try doing it. I've never done it, but
It's, you know, we have a budget of $1,500 and it's just kind of a matter of when we have expenses, just kind of tracking those on a piece of paper. If you want to put it on a piece of paper, or if you want to do it on a spreadsheet, that's up to you. We don't ask you to supply us with a paper, just a report, you know.
yeah, I don't mind doing that. But if somebody had business background or some kind of accounting background,
Yeah.
that would be a better candidate than me. But I'm willing to do it.
That'd be awesome. Okay, great. Any other comments on that, or?
No.
I'd like to make a motion that Tess Gutowski be treasurer.
I second it.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? All right, so moved. Thank you, Tess. Really not that difficult, and I can bring you up to speed on it.
Yeah, I'll need the folder and file and stuff like whatever Carol did. Because
Yeah,
Carol was doing that for a long time, wasn't she?
she was, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things we'll need, and maybe we can work together on it in the next few weeks. For the December meeting, we'll need to discuss what budget we're going to bring forward to the Board of Finance.
Yep.
And I can go over what we've done in the past with you. And so, you know, you can lead discussion on that, maybe in December.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. And under communications, I had sent out the forest management plan from Deep for the Nyholman Forest and asked if you guys had time to look through it, maybe provide some background comments that we can send to Deep. Anybody have any comments they want to offer?
Well, I did read the report and it was interesting, but I had a hard time linking their goals and objectives to what the operation was going to do. A lot of it, but I can type up some comments. I'll send to you, Kathy. But
Okay.
this forest is rather fragmented, but it is core along some of the Willimantic River.
Yeah.
And I know they don't want any more roads. They don't want to build any roads, but I think public access is really missing in these forests.
Yeah, they've kept a lot of it, what they're calling old growth characteristic forest. They're not doing any management of it because it's hard to access.
Right.
I'm gonna share my screen for a minute. And I just brought up, this is the map of what they're calling part of the Nyholman forest. So can you see my cursor moving? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I can see your cursor.
Okay, thank you. So in Ellington, there's a part of Nyholman is up here. And
Mhm.
then all of these dark green here are other portions of the Nyholman State Forest. Some are in Tallinn. These are the portions here, right here, that are in Wellington. They're the Roaring Brook, if people know Village Hill Road.
Mhm.
Roaring Brook goes through this small piece here, and then on the other side of the highway, Route 84 here,
Mhm.
this other piece, which you can actually access off of Eldridge Road, off of 320 and Eldridge Road. If you go to the very end, you can
Mhm.
walk into this part. But these are the only two portions that are in Wellington. The rest, here's the Route 32, which pretty much follows the Willimantic River, which is the boundary of Wellington. So these parcels here are in Tolland. Except I'm trying to figure out, yeah, is that true? Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
this is the river right in the edge
Yeah.
here. Yeah. So we have a very small stake in that forest. Not many acres. And like Tess was saying, it's pretty fragmented. A lot of it's not very accessible. So the forest management plan for a lot of it is just to kind of leave it be in its natural state.
Mhm.
Some of it's used for forestry, a little bit's used for recreation. So,
Yeah, I don't know how many of you have driven down um I want to say North River Road in Tolland,
hmm,
where Lemix have their operation, and
yep,
driven down and into the forest there. I mean,
yeah.
there's a couple huge areas, when I say huge, huge for this area of Connecticut, that's been clear cut.
Yeah, that's in the Kohler Wildlife Management area. So Bob's talking about if you follow Route 74 and you cross the river and then you get across the highway, like going on 74 into Tolland, there's this road right here that travels. Is this one right here, Bob, you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
And you go in here and they've done a big patch cut. But this is a really nice area to walk. It's not,
Yeah,
there are some trails in here and
right. Yeah.
logging roads. They're not marked, but if anybody wants a new place to walk, this is pretty interesting. And the
Mhm.
river's right over here. And you drive down the road and there's a gate and you can park and walk in. Chris and I have walked in there several times. It's got a lot of wildlife tracks. We've been there in the winter and we've seen fisher, mink, bobcat, a lot of interesting tracks and sign in here. But
Mhm.
as far as I could tell from reading this, they're not counting this as part of the Nyholman forest.
Oh, okay.
It's just the dark green.
Okay.
So I think this picture shows it better. So Nyholman forest is the light green.
Mm-hmm.
The state wildlife management area is here. So, wow, interesting. Well, if anybody else has time and, wants to read through this, and if you have any comments before the next 2 weeks, just send them to me and I'll include them in the letter that I'll write up to Deep. Any other discussion on this? It's really nice just to look through it. The pictures are great.
Yeah, I would just, considering what they've done in Tolland, and of course the slope here is a lot greater than it is where that clear cut is in Tolland. So I'm sure that they're not thinking about clear cutting. They'd probably just harvest sizable trees.
Yeah, it's pretty limited.
Yeah.
If you look at their plan, yeah. But a lot of it, they're gonna just leave unmanaged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Tessa, you and I agreed that there was another thing that was a little annoying with this report was that they didn't have a map that showed the components,
Exactly, yeah.
component numbers, even though they kept using that term throughout the document. Okay, thank you on that one. Let me get rid of this. All right, 2026 meeting schedule. I sent that out to you. Basically, it's looking at staying with third Wednesdays of the month at 7. Will that
Mhm.
continue to work for most people?
It
Yes.
should.
Okay. And via Zoom okay as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I mean, we do have the option if we're trying to work on a project, I can get a room for meeting at the town office building. But we seem to have, good participation when people can come via Zoom.
Mhm.
So we have to we have to vote on this schedule because I have to send it to the town clerk. So if somebody wants to make a motion,
I'll make a motion that we continue to have our Conservation Commission meetings the third Wednesday of the month at 7 o'clock via either in person or Zoom.
okay. Second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Tess. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any, okay. Any dissents? Abstentions? So moved. Okay. All right. That's all the business that we had on the agenda, but we can always add an item if people have some other things they want to talk about tonight or share.
Kathy, do you have any other people interested in serving on the commission? Do you have any more candidates?
I had talked to Ellie Lowell about it, and I think at first she had said that she was interested, and I think she's thought more about it and felt that she has a lot of other things going on right now. So at this point, she was not going to ask to be on the commission. Other than that, I don't have any other potential candidates. If you know of someone,
I was just curious.
well, we're always open to having people come to the meetings. See what we do. Allie, did you have any questions or things that might be helpful that we can?
No, I am good. Thank you, though.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Thank you again for joining us. We're really excited to have you.
Thank you.
Great. I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Nora. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Anybody not want to end this meeting?
Everybody have a good week.
You
Thank
too.
You as well.
Nice to see you.
Holiday.
Right.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.